Hello again, Gaming World of YouTube. Not much has changed in the last, 1 second of my life while I was checking on the video and having it actually have recorded. For those of you who saw the last episode, I made this car run, and I mean, I can prove it because I tested it, dyno tested, it made 110 horsepower, which really kind of sucks, actually. But in this episode, we're going to turn it into a sleeper. So to do that, we first need to take it to the drag strip and see what kind of times it makes on the quarter mile. I'm going to try my best to do shifting in this. I don't know where it peaks out. I think it's like 6,000 RPM. So I'm going to try 6,000 RPM. I got the shifting down. Oh, wow. Stuff. And I'm about to sneeze. You guys might hear me sneeze in a second. Wish me bless you, so that way I don't. Anyways, we're gonna get some times at the quarter mile, and then we're gonna see what kind of power we can get it to make, and see if we can improve any and kind of make it a sleeper. Red line there for a little bit. "12 seconds in the 8th mile. 19 seconds in the quarter mile. Gosh, this car's slow. Okay, that was absolutely horrific. Let's see if we can get faster than 19.619. That's interesting. 19.616. Let's restart run. Let's see if we can get any faster. I want to see what the fastest time is. So it's 19.619. See if we can get any faster than 19 seconds. I seriously doubt we're going to get faster than 19 seconds, but at least we can do better than 19.6. If I shift right, that would be a miracle. And I don't know this engine very well, guys, so this video might be a little in depth. I'm going to try one more time, see if we can get a little faster. And kind of punch the limits. So, my shifting is better. Yes! We made very, very close to exactly 19 seconds in the quarter mile. That's really, actually quite a terrible time. But for this car, I'm sure that's pretty dang good. I like that, actually. I'm very satisfied with that number. Alright, let's return to garage and see if we can beat 19 seconds. Alright, so we know the amount of horsepower the car makes. We won't know the amount of horsepower the car makes until we actually get the parts in, which means we've got to get busy kind of getting parts. Now the problem is, I've actually restored one of these cars before, but most of my experience in this game is a lot of old V8s that run on carburetors. This car is fuel injection, which means it's already out of my range, and it's an inline 4. Which puts it further out of my range. And not only is it further out of my range being an inline 4, but it's also not a pushrod engine, which means it's... I actually don't know what it is. It's SOCH, I think? I don't remember what SOCH stands for. But either way, it's really out of my range. I really don't know what kind of parts to put on this car. I would know based on memory and browsing what kind of parts to put on that, but I would not know what to put on this. So we're going to disassemble the entire engine. And let's see. And let's see. I seriously doubt that we're going to get new head coverings. But let's check this out. So we got a camshaft, and we got a fuel rail, and we got a throttle. Let's check our tablets to see what kind of stuff. Okay, so let's see. Cam. Actually, I'm just going to do it this way. Engine. SOHC, sorry. Get one of those. No carburetors on this one. We're going to need the engine head. We are going to need an exhaust manifold. That would be nice. And let's just get the rest of the exhaust while we're at it. Crap, I don't know what kind of exhaust to put in this car. Wonderful. Oh, we do have an alternator. And an air filter. Engine head, Mellish. See, they have performance parts for this crappy car. I would love to do actually, I'll do a sleeper build on that for you guys next. Okay, let's see. Further on to this, more exhaust manifolds, a fuel filter, fuel rail MPI, mechanical port injection. That's not too bad for out of my range. A fuel pump, ignition coil. We have one of those. I mentioned that we actually saw me take this off the car earlier in the last episode. We don't need rotors because we don't have that kind of engine. We already got that. We need these. We don't we don't need an intake with 2 carbs on it because we don't have carburetors. That's DI. We need MPI because we have mechanical port injection. We need 4 pistons. 1, 2, 3, 4. We do have power steering. Every car has power steering. Oops. Yeah, that was the I4 one, so that's good. We don't need round air filters. We don't need side air filters. We need 4 spark plugs. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's various kinds of throttles, actually. So we've got the throttle for the i4, the Stratdale, and then we've got the throttle for the V8s. Now, I'm thinking it's either inline 4 or Stratdale. I don't actually know which one, though. I'm hoping it's that Stratdale one. i4. Dang it! Okay, so let's go get that throttle. i4. We have all the performance parts we need, I believe, because that's the only ones that register. Let's check it out. Let's check out the exhaust couplings. Oh crap! I can't look at those. I gotta raise the car. Oops. Let's see. I wish you could sort by car. That would be amazing. Okay, so that's... Yeah, I know it says V8. Let's see, let's go get the exhaust. V8 OHV, which is the overhead valves. This is the stuff I'm used to working with, not that. Where is it? There it is. No. It said middle muffler, didn't it? Rear muffler, okay. Rear muffler for the V8 OHV. And let's go ahead and grab... There's the middle muffler. And it just says middle muffler, so let's grab middle muffler. Sorry, I keep rubbing the microphone. Where is middle muffler? Middle muffler. There we go. Middle muffler. And we also need... I would like to do a turbo build. I don't usually do stuff with turbo. Ah, here we go. Front exhaust pipe. i4CH or COHC or SOHC. And then we also need a gearbox. Oh crap. We're not going to get a good gearbox. We're going to get a good clutch pressure plate, and a good flywheel, which is supposedly going to add horsepower, but I don't know how that works. Nothing else here actually works, so we are just doing engine stuff, which is nice because it makes it nice and simple. Makes it decent build. I'm going to take all this off right now, and I'm going to put on the optional parts. Okay, so I'm going to put the optional part on, which is going to look like a bit, look a bit ricey, because if you actually look at the back, it's kind of silvery. We need to take that. We need to disassemble the engine before we can take that off. Okay. We'll worry about that later. Let's get this disassembled. Oops, we gotta take that fuel rail off. Okay, so this is the boring part, is where I'm taking apart the car. So I'm going to try and talk as much as possible. So, actually, let's see. So, I don't know much about SOHC. I do have, let's see. What would be a good topic to talk about? Something new with you guys. So, we could talk about automation, which is a really interesting game. And actually, I'm going to talk about this game. So, this game is actually, I'm going to do a review real quick on this game. Oh, we have to take that off. That's interesting. Or not interesting. Wonderful, I should say. Wonderful. So, I really kind of have some problems with this game. I love it. I really love this game. The problem is that they really kind of did a bad job with the microtransactions. There's a lot of stuff in this game that they really kind of made, the game have a little bit of shortcomings that I think could have been solved simply by charging a little extra for the game and adding a little bit of... Oh, did we have a... Nah, that wasn't a water pump. Let's see, is there a... Let's see, that's the water pump that we just took off. Is there an option for it in the... Water pump, water pump, water pump, water pump, water pump. Oh, I can just do this. Water. Water. Nope. Okay, so we didn't miss it. Wonderful. Anyways. Short cast. Nice. Or short log, I should say. Anyways. The problem with this game is that they keep adding a lot of DLCs to it, which is really nice, and they seem to be getting promotions from, like, Mercedes and, what was it? Now I can go grab that part out. They seem to be getting promotions from a lot of different places, and when they get a promotion from some place to put cars into the game, they only ever put 2 of them into the game, which really kind of sucks because I would love to see more cars in this game, which would make the game a lot more interesting to play, but there's already a huge variety of cars. And if you think about it, you're not going to spend a lot of time working on a lot of different cars in this game, simply because there's just so many of them. There's a lot of cars, and I can show you the list later, but I'm probably not going to. I can pull that off now, thank God. What is stuck on there? Oh, it's the... That's it. Anyways, the big problem with this game that I really kind of... It was the DLC content. Now, the DLCs are rather cheap. The game's rather cheap. I believe the game itself is like $20. And then the DLCs are like usually $5 each. It comes with one free DLC, which kind of sucks because it's that Malish car. And the Malish doesn't have any... and forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong, like really wrong. I'm probably really butchering it. The Malish doesn't really have any traits going for it, really. It's just a terrible car. It's not really interesting to play with. I mean, sure, if you really just like to build with it, then it's nice. It's kind of a refreshing piece, but otherwise, it's really kind of a terrible car to build with. Sorry, my nose is itchy. It's just absolutely terrible to drive. It's just horrific. So the big problem that I have with the Malish is that it actually, from a design standpoint, it's quite interesting. And that's just simply because it's a really weird car, and it's the only car in the game that is as weird as it is. Like, I mean, there's the DLC to have all the big trucks and whatnot that are like four-wheel drive and whatnot. That's a camshaft. Camshaft software. I gotta love them. I love camshaft software. They make fantastic. They did fantastic on automation. I love that game. It's one of my favorite games. This one made it pretty high on the list too. I've been missing this game actually. Anyways, one of the things that it was really, but that's the, oh man, the Malish. Don't get me started on the Malish. It's actually quite an interesting car from a design standpoint, but as soon as you drive it, you see why it kind of sucks. And the big reason why it sucks is because you accelerate extremely slowly. Like if I actually took, like you saw, all of you saw how terrible this thing accelerated. Well, the Malish is even worse. It's way worse. Like, I would rather take this thing to a drag race than the Malish. I win in a heartbeat. I should probably do a short video on a drag race with a Malish and see what kind of times I get. It's absolutely horrific. Oh crap, I gotta get that gearbox off. But I can get the fuel filter right now, because that's gonna have to come out. Anyways, the Malish. And not only that, but if you can get it to high speed, which you really can't unless you get mods, but if you can get it to a high speed, then you have to worry about the car actually flipping over. I kid you not, I've actually flipped the car over. Accelerating quickly and then turning real hard. But that DLC comes free, so you don't have to pay for a disappointment. And it's an expensive DLC, which I don't see why. Because it only offers one car, and it's not a really good car that people really find kind of interesting. Except, again, from the design standpoint, it boggles my mind really how that car was designed. It's a rear-engine, rear-wheel drive car, which is really interesting because it's the only one in the game. But the DLC is about as much as this game, which makes no sense to me. Clutch release bearing. Man, this car makes me wish I could fix my car. My car's broken right now. It really is. Anyways, the big thing about this game is cost. But the cost to me is kind of worth it if you really like to kind of screw around. And then there's also this guy that does a cheat engine for this game, which is really fun if you like to do what I do, and that's the kind of just bull crap that I'm doing right now. I mean, I don't care about money, I don't care about actually making it as a mechanic in this game. It just doesn't make it doesn't work for me. Oh, and then I also need to do this. And I mean, it would be a really good, the life of a mechanic is, unless you are really into it, it can get kind of boring. So basically what you really want to do is repairing cars is actually a lot of fun. I've done it before. It's actually a lot of fun. Okay, now we start assembling. Okay, so we need to put the block back in, which means it was a mistake to pull that out. And we're basically looking for optional parts now. So optional part. 1 bolt. Oh. Water pump. And I mean, repairing cars is a lot of fun, but if you ask me, I played this game for a little bit and I got bored with it. But then people tell me all the time that I would be a really good car mechanic because of what I know about cars. Some of the stuff I learned from this game, because this game's kind of a fun game to learn stuff from. Not really true on 100% of what they do, though. I mean, like, this engine would not run as nicely as it does, even though we're putting crap stuff back into it. And nice shiny stuff on it, which is what Roadkill does. Which is one of the reasons why I really love that show. Now, there's the fuel filter, we can put that in. Optional part. Oh, we need to put the fuel pump in. And watch, anyone who's a mechanic is going to laugh their butt off at this. Check this out. I just replaced the fuel pump without pulling the gas tank off. This game is not nearly as detailed as it should be. It really has a lot of potential with what it could be, and I think it's great. But the big issue is just it's not as detailed. It's not. Oh man, I gotta pull that out. The game isn't as detailed as I would really like it to be. That's the problem. I would really love it to be a lot more detailed than it is. I would love to have valves and other knickknacks running through the engine, like the wiring. I would love to mess with the wiring. I mean, the only wiring I'm actually messing with anywhere in this car is the ignition wiring in the engine. So there's the new clutch pressure plate. Ooh, that's the pressure plate. Let's bolt that back on, or bolt the new one, I should say. But I mean, this is a great game. It's educational. It is a simulation, which is really nice. It's simulating the life of a mechanic, which does, I mean, I played it for a little bit and I got bored. So I decided to cheat, and there's no competitive multiplayer or anything like that, so, I mean, it doesn't have, there's not a lot of motive for you to do anything, which is kind of the sad part about it. I would like there to be a little bit more motive to do stuff, as opposed to just, hey, I got a car that I would like fixed. Can you do it? And I'll pay you to do it. It would be. I mean, I like a little story. I mean, what's the deal with Why Are You a Mechanic? One of the games I wanted to design was Car Fabricator X, which is a little bit different. There's no story to Car Fabricator X, which is just a point that I just made as not being good. But still, there's a lot of stuff you can do, and there would be a multiplayer in Car Fabricator X. And, I mean, Car Fabricator X is a holder name, but I think I'm going to stick with it. Fuel filter. And I need to put those pistons in before I can put the oil pan back on. Anyways, interesting stuff. I mean, the game, I don't know how many times I'm going to say it. Dang it. Yes, the game's good. Yes, the game amazes me. The detail is just ecstatically. Alright, do I seriously have a... Dang it! I just put the old pistons back in. Oh well, I'll pull them out, put the speed pistons in. I guess I didn't see them. I mean, that was really kind of stupid of me. I really wish I had seen them. So I'm going to go check and see if there's any speed parts that I didn't put on whenever I finish. Because that's important. That's, like, really important. Because if I'm not putting speed parts on this car, then that's a problem. Because the car makes 110 horsepower, which is nice and all, but it needs to make more. I wish I knew how speed parts work. I really don't know that, actually. There was no speed part starter, which irritated me. I wish there was a speed part transmission. That would make it really interesting. So that's good. We've got one of those. Put the speed part on. The only thing I can think of that would make this a speed part is it being a little bit wider to accommodate an extra airflow. Because one of the things I learned from automation, and Engine Masters actually, is that you've got to have that correct amount. I believe I have speed spark plugs. You gotta have the right amount of airflow. It's not about... Oh, I still have the... You gotta have the... Yeah, you gotta have the right amount of airflow. It's not about having the most airflow, which is what racers think. They just put the big exhaust on because it makes it sound like fart can, and they think that sounds sick. And I'm like, dude, you make me sick. How can you call yourself a gearhead? You don't even know what you're doing to your car. It's terrible. Alright, that's nice. I should do a racer build. That would be kind of hard in this game, though. Actually, I have the tuner modding, so I could probably do it. I have the tuner DLC, which is really kind of a cosmetic DLC, and it doesn't have a lot of interesting kind of racer... Oh, that's right, it's the... Sorry, I have a lot of games, and they all have different controls. Oh, hey, I forgot about that. I thought that was going to be like a non-speed part. Alright. I'm wondering how much this adds up. So, let's see. New throttle. Let's put the new rail in. So now we have one of those. Alright, we only have that. That chain is in terrible condition. A belt tensioner. That's also in terrible condition. This will be a great sleeper. Alright, is there anything else? Oh, that's right, I need to get the stuff onto there. To get some crankshaft bearing, or camshaft bearing caps, actually. And I believe I also have the oil pan to put back on. I don't know if I put that back on or not. I wish you could get cars in even worse condition than the ones I already got. That would be amazing. I wish there was more versatility to this game. I wish there was a fabrication element to this game. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to create Car Fabricator X. Is because it would be a fabrication element. Now I know that's kind of hard to do in a game like this, and create an actual part. But if you use 3D modeling and some simple... Why can I... Oh. Crankshaft bearing caps, that's why. Luckily there's only 3 of them. I would like to see some interesting stuff with fabrication and whatnot, and options. Options are good, and this game doesn't have a lot of options, is the problem. Like, if you go to put a speed part on, there's no option for torque or horsepower. It's just more power, and they just say horsepower. Obviously, the guys who made the game know something about cars, because they're modeling cars. Okay. Did I put this back on? Yeah, I did. Okay, so I think that's everything. I just gotta put oil in it. Let's check the dipstick to make sure there's enough oil in it. Oh, good. That's nice. Alright. Let's see. If this works, let's move it to the dyno. Oh, look, I got all the parts in. So let's see, we're gonna go to inventory. Why are there no parts in inventory? Ah, there they are. Okay, that's all the parts that are out of the car. We're gonna sell them for whatever they're worth, because we don't need them. We got a sleeper flammo. Okay, we're gonna go in here, and we're gonna go to... Is it ECU tuning, or is it carburetor tuning? It's carburetor tuning because it's mechanical port injection. We need to get these as high as possible. I'm gonna try for 10%. 12%. That's good. That's good. Tuning saved. Now let's see how much power this makes. We're already above 110 horsepower. That's nice. Oh, man. The good news is it accelerates, because it got up to speed a lot faster. I don't know if that's a product of having a little extra punch. The good news is this makes about as much or a little bit more than a Dodge Caliber back when I was looking for cars. Okay, now this doesn't make a lot of power, which is really disappointing. So let's go ahead and throw this on the... Let's go ahead and throw some sport tires on there. Let's see, swap tire. We're gonna go with a sport tire. Apply. Now I would swap engine, except that there's no engine options for this, and we already just spent a ton of time trying to... What the frick? Oh, Newton meters. Okay. Oh, I can do an empty swap? Really? I didn't know that. It must be a new update. Okay, let's go to the drag strip. Let's see how much we improved. Probably not much, but I'm guessing this is a pretty light car. Now, I don't see things in Newton meters, so for those of you who understand Newton meters, good for you. I don't. I see things in foot-pound. Look at that Dodge Charger. That's awesome. So, I want you all to kind of think about it for a little bit. What do you think of... would you like to see me restore this car and whatnot? And I would be interested to see what y'all say. Leave comments and whatnot. And I mean, the video's not over. Doesn't feel any better. That feels better already. Let's see if we can get 15 seconds. $16.59. That's an improvement. And we almost made it to the top of 4th, which is apparently final gear because I couldn't shift up. Alright, let's try that again, see if we can get a little less wheel spin and move into higher speeds. If we can get a little less wheel spin, I betcha we can probably get some faster times. I'm thinking that we could do about 16 seconds. That would be really kind of fun for me. I don't know if we can actually pull off 16 seconds. Now, I've been trying to do some modding with this game and see if I can get like a small block pushrod engine in this particular car, no less. But I don't want to try that anymore because I spent a lot of time doing this. But I would love to make a rear-engine car for this. And modding in this game is a little bit interesting. And the developer said that they would support modding, but they haven't really done a lot of... Come on. 16 seconds. We lost time. We actually lost 0.2 of a second, or 1/10, I should say. Oh well. I'm gonna take this car to the empty test track, and I'm just gonna run around a bit and let you guys watch. I quite honestly, that was kind of a fun build. I really enjoyed that once I actually got down to it. I've been dreading this build for quite a while. I didn't think I'd have this much fun doing it. It's a really kind of a interesting little thing that you can do with this. The engine looks like crap though. The good news is you can't see it from the thing. I wish that they would do better engine swaps and whatnot, make them a little bit easier to do. Well, they're easy to do, but you got limited options of what you can do, and there's always more power. So you gotta bang your head. But no, if I want a V8 in this car, which would make a lot of sense, I gotta put like a ton of freaking effort into modding, and I'm not that great at it. So that's really kind of sad. So we're going to go to the sample track. We're going to test out the Flamo. Look at that Charger. The Charger is the symbol of this game, because the Dodge Charger is badass. I think that's funny. Every car company that I can think of is like style, perfection, performance. And then Dodge is over there like 707 horsepower, enough said. And I'm like, I'm going to have to go with Dodge on this one. I would love to own a Hellcat. But the problem is I'm not in a financial situation to own one. They're a little expensive, and I say a little, they're like $50,000. And I would love to have one for off-roading. I know they're not exactly off-roading cars. Oh, we got a little wheel spin off idle. The best part about this car is its rear-wheel drive. This is kind of sporty, actually. I'm very much liking this. Let's see what kind of jumps we can get. It handles real nicely. Not an amazing jump, but a jump nonetheless. That was a good jump. Yeah, alright. Well, we have a sporty little car now. I'm gonna keep this one. I'm so keeping this. Alright guys, if you want to see me restore this car in a future video, leave a like. It will appear in Cars Head On. I don't know if I'm going to restore it whether or not you guys request it, because no one ever requests videos. I would very much like that to change. My friend Entropy has agreed that I should do something with Age of Empires. However, Age of Empires no longer works on my computer. And in addition to that, my ex-girlfriend has, who appeared on the DA raffle car video, has requested that I do Battlefield. Battlefield Bad Company 2, that is. Oh crap, don't flip over. Dang it! Anyways, so interesting stuff to happen, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see all of you later.